I think my best friend is in love with my wife, and her responses to his advances deeply worry me. My lifelong best friend has always found my wife to be very attractive, and he has on many occasions told me if I was not in the picture he would go for her in a heartbeat. I used to take it as a compliment until he always mentioned it, and I confronted him about whether or not he actually liked my wife. He said that I was his best friend, and even though he did find my wife to be almost irresistible, he would never try to do anything with her as I was his boy. This conversation was one we had 6 months ago and it put me at ease, but just a month later he moved on from telling me how hot he finds her, to literally saying it to her. He was over at our house and when we all had a few drinks in us he commented to my wife that I am a lucky man because, and he proceeded to look her up and down, and then go wow. I told him to knock it off, but my wife just laughed and told me not to take it so seriously. Now, my wife has always been a very flirty person, to the point where I have had to tell her not to be so flirty with everyone on many occasions because it makes me uncomfortable, but the thing is, I trust her completely. Whenever she does flirt, I worry not because I don't trust her, but because I don't trust whoever she is jokingly flirting back with. In this case it is different I suppose. I have every reason to believe that I should trust my best friend. So, back to the night my best friend was over. The next day I asked him not to make comments like that to my wife and he said he was cool with it, but the next time he was over he did it again, and just like last time, my wife laughed and said that his girlfriend must be an equally lucky woman. They both laughed, leaving me in awe as I watched my best friend flirt with my wife as she reciprocated. The next piece of evidence you could say came another month later when my best friend sent my wife his gym progress pics and asked her what she thinks of them. The only reason I found this out is because she received a text off him while we were both looking at her phone, and she tried to hide the chat. Their conversation about the gym pics happened to be the most recent, and the pictures themselves seemed very inviting, with him flexing topless, and my heart responding with shocked face and heart eyes emoji, once again saying that his girlfriend was very lucky. She managed to convince me at the time that it was nothing, and I let it go. I saw no more evidence until one more month later when we all went out on double date. By the end of the night we all ended up in my house having some drinks, and my best friend and wife decided to go out and smoke in the backyard, but when his girlfriend and I asked to join we were not allowed because they were having a private chat. I was slowly losing my mind over the course of the next while because I did not want to face the reality that they are hooking up, and I still don't. But yesterday came a hard slap in the face which makes me finally realize that they are likely hooking up. I don't want to believe it but I may have too. Leading up to this came a few more instances of them texting and playfully touching each other's arms when together, but nothing very major that would be a red flag alone, but since I had my suspicions I was as attentive as a hawk the whole time. Anyway, yesterday I saw on my wife's email that there was a hotel booked for 2 people but in a room with 2 single beds for a getaway next weekend, and saw that the booking had been registered under my wife's and my best friend's name. Later that day I asked my wife if she was free next weekend to visit my parents with me just to gauge her reaction, but she said she couldn't as she was actually planning to go to one of her girlfriend's birthdays and stay the weekend since the trip is states away. I had caught her out, but I said nothing. I just know she is likely cheating on me, but the fact that there are 2 single beds instead of a double gives me hope.